Hello and welcome to the 19th BOH Cameronian Arts Awards on set. I am Sabrina Hassan, and with me today are the nominees for Music and Sound Design in the dance category. Welcome and congratulations on your nominations.
Thank you so much.
Yes, right. So, what I wanted to ask is, what is the most useful advice that you've received in terms of music and sound design for a dance performance?
So as for me, because I've always working with the materials, with the Borneo and Borneo culture materials. So in terms of the music, I always get the advice that I have to look back at the culture itself. For example, if I were to create a craft about the Malay Sarawak, so the music has to be not far away from the original, or must have the essence of the traditional itself, as in even if it is contemporary. So I also need to look at what are the what kind of items and also what kind of culture that I'm going to portray in the piece itself.
So was there anything specific from the Borneo culture that you wanted to incorporate into your performance?
So in my performance, I utilized the Malay Sarawak arts tradition, which is the nopeng, or if you ever heard about the begendang. So in my piece, the title is nopeng, or also called as penopeng. So penopeng is the male dancers who are dancing in pairs for the tanda. So in my contemporary piece, I would like to portray the characteristics of the dancers, the male dancers, who have how do they portray their skills, and also how they convey their skills, their performance skills between the two male dancers lah. Yeah.
So Melinda, back to you. Yeah, the advice that you would give, that you've been given. Yeah.
I think the most important is the coordination between the dance and the music itself. So both of them complements each other, and no doubt dance can be alone, but with music it becomes more powerful. I would think that.
Okay. So do you think that a piece of choreography could start without the music?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and the music builds, of course.
Right. So for transition, it incorporates the old to the new, traditional and contemporary. So how did sound design and music come into play?
Oh, that is from the composer, Quina. So from the beginning, it was just Fairul taking a piece of his music from YouTube, and he experimented with his dancers, his students. So he thought it was quite interesting, and he tried his luck. So he tried to contact Quina, and he responded, and he did a new piece for him, for Tambului.
For Tambului. Okay, right. What about for First Appeal?
First Appeal, it was just a mixture, a few of pieces. Yeah.
And then the voices were part of that sound design, do you think?
I would think so.
Yeah, right. So when you are starting off, as Melinda was saying, that you couldn't start choreographing without music. So how is that process for you?
Okay, because my piece I started with without music, right? So it's silent part. So that part I tried to how do I say? I tried to imagine, and also I tried to get the situation with my dancers, and also I wanted them to have that kind of the energy, and also the because in performance we have before we started to perform, there will be time for us to focus on ourselves, where we're gonna prepare ourselves before we. Yeah, for example, before we started dancing, so we must have the competency. For example, in the tanda, we must know the movements that we can perform during the performance. So that kind of situation I put into the beginning part. Yeah.
Right. So the tanda, can you explain a bit about that?
Okay, so tanda is a male traditional dances where they're gonna dance accompanied by the female ensemble. So the ensemble is all female musicians except one male, where the male going to play the violin. Yeah. So and then the tanda is performed by two males, but it can be like in the arena. They can have like few pairs, but it's usually performed by two male performers. Yeah.
So how was the music then developed? Like you said, the choreography came first. So how was the music developed?
So the music develops when the dancers I've put into a situation where the two dancers met each other in the center, for example. So the music started to build up where they wanted to show their skills slowly by themselves, one by one, like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can you tell me a bit about your journey, like as a mom coming back into performance?
Oh, I've totally stopped from being involved in the dance industry altogether. Even arts industry, I've not been to any performance for probably 8-9 years. So then we had this pandemic, and my kids were all locked, at home and all. And I was saying to my husband, I said, I think it's time for me to get back into, dance. Then he said, okay, the kids are grown, you can do whatever you want now. So why don't you get your team? So I contacted Fairul and I contacted Naim. Say, why don't we start a project? Then they say, okay, do it project based. I say, no. If I want to start something, I want to go full blast. I say, no, Mel, you're crazy. So no, let me do this, but you have to support me. I said, okay. So I built a studio. I started a studio. And once the studio was done with the renovation and all, I got a call from Naim. Naim said, oh, Mel, ada job. I said, oh, okay. Then the first job was with Siti Nurhaliza. So then after a year, then I told, our purpose was always to have our own production. So I said, okay, a year has passed, let's do this production. I said, okay. And Naim, and of course, Fairul said, okay, Mel, I had this, can I propose you something? Can I bring my kids here? I said, okay, sure. Cool. So then, we just started the production. My aim is to have one production a year. Just that small production is enough, as long as there is something that we love, that we want to show other people. Yeah.
Cool.
I told myself, I said, one day I would want to have, dream is free, right?
Yes,
So
yes. You made it happen.
One day I would want to have my own school. That was my dream, okay. So I said, okay, I don't think I can start a school now, but I can try,
What does your school specialize in?
Now we're just doing projects, basically, yeah. We're doing concerts, events.
How do you sustain then if you're working basically on projects? So is that
Based on
sustainable?
projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't take my pay.
Okay.
so my pay sustains the whole studio, yeah.
Right. So that's a luxury though.
Yeah.
Not everybody can afford this luxury. If you could only use one music or sound design for a performance, what would that instrument be?
For me, I would like to experiment with harp. It's kind of soothing and calming, and maybe we can do something totally opposite. The sound is calming and soothing, and the piece is aggressive and whatnot. Experiment.
What about you, Zan?
And as for me, I would like to experiment with the sape music instrument. Yeah, the lute, the long lute instruments of the Orang Ulu. Yeah, because same. It's very soothing, and if you listen to the music, it's like very calming, very calm, and also like it brings you to another, another world when you hear the sound of the string. Yeah,
the sape.
The sape.
Right. If you were a character in a performance and you had a theme song, right? What genre of music would it be?
Oh, genre.
As ourselves?
as yourselves? Or if you had a particular character that you wanted to play, what would it be?
Horror would be nice.
Horror?
Yeah.
Or,
Like something
Why horror? Yeah.
suspense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Because I think it has potential in developing a piece. Either way, it's going to be up or down. I mean, it can develop as, how do you say, as a climax, or there's not going to be a climax.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Hamzah,
all
what
right.
about you?
For me, I think I would like. What came into my mind was to be an antagonist character. Yeah, I don't know.
That's nice to
because,
play.
yeah. Because sometimes we always watch like antagonist character in films, in drama, in theatres and all that. So in dance, it's like sometimes it like very less people doing it. So maybe if I were to experiment or to have like that kind of character, so I will go with antagonist.
Right. And what genre of music would that
Genre
be?
should be like some kind like very rock maybe, or
Okay.
something like
This is interesting
Yeah.
because it's like a
Yeah.
contrast to
Yes,
the
yes.
instruments that you wanted to that you chose earlier on, like the harp and the sapphirs. That's
Yes.
really interesting. When you want to play, then you go the opposite. Cool.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you so much for coming today and for sharing with us. Thank you. And thank you for watching.